Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
For which it stands, one nation, God.
Silence.
At this point, is there any citizens' input on agenda items only? Hearing and seeing none, Mr. Chairman, for the departmental updates.
Yeah, who we have? The HIDS.
Yep.
Chris Manick, Director of Mental Health. Hi, Chris. And then Rebecca Dew. Okay.
Thanks for having us here today to provide a little briefing on the mental health system as it is in Northumberland County. I thought I would offer comments on the continuum of care as it currently exists. Most of the services I'll talk about we have contracts for or are paid for, and I can talk a little bit about the budget as well. So in terms of ambulatory care, I'll offer these in terms of as well least restrictive to most restrictive services, both on for the adults in our communities as well as the children then in our communities. So in terms of the adults, we have a drop-in center, but two of those that are supported in Shamokin and Sunbury. Case management services provided in-house as well as through a provider. Peer support, outpatient like counseling and psychiatry, psychology. Day programming such as psychiatric rehabilitation, partial hospitalization, as well as vocational programming for adults, which includes the bakery. Some of you may have enjoyed some treats from the bakery, CSG Bakery, over the years. That's been in existence a long time. And the clubhouse. In terms of facility-based care for adults, we have the enhanced personal care homes. Those are in Atlas and Cole Township, which are supported by grants. Inpatient hospitalization, you all might be aware of the new facility, the Acadia facility in Danville. That would be an example of inpatient hospitalization options more locally, as well as long-term hospitalization, which we know as Danville State Hospital. For kids, in terms of that continuum of care, we provide case management to children and their families, outpatient counseling and psychiatry similar to the adults, intensive behavioral health services, which are community-based services, mobile therapy, behavior specialists, mental health supports to children and their families in the community and schools. One of the specialty programs under IBHS is community and school-based behavioral health. We have many school districts in our area that benefit from having that service available to kids and families right in the school districts. Partial hospitalization, also similar to that for the adults. Family-based mental health services. Multi-systemic therapy, that's very intensive family therapy for kids and families in our communities. And in terms of facility-based care, we have inpatient as well as residential treatment facilities. Of course, in both cases for adults and kids, we would like to avoid hospitalization or out-of-home placement. Keeping kids and families and adults in the community usually results in better care and more sustainable outcomes. I thought I would talk just a minute with you all about funding. So in terms of state dollars, the block grant includes about $3.8 million. Non-block grant funding, those are state and federal dollars that come right to the county for us to support services directly. That's about $440,000. So if you keep that in mind, 4.2-ish $1 million comes into the county for us to support many of the services I just mentioned on the continuum at a limited level. Most services are funded through the Health Choices program. Northumberland County is a part of the Behavioral Health Alliance of Rural Pennsylvania, who contracts directly then with Community Care Behavioral Health, an arm of UPMC, to actually provide the insurance product. And so the 23,000 members of the Health Choices program in the county, so our population is about 90,000 still, right around that number. So 23,000 folks are members of the Medicaid Managed Care program through Community Care. The spend for 2025 was $32 million. So you can see most of the services that are received by the county residents really are supported by the Health Choices program through Medicaid. So I wanted to share a little bit about that. And then just offer a quick comment on Mental Health Awareness Month, which is coming up next month in May. So our hope is to light the county green in May for Mental Health Awareness Month. We know we have some support from the commissioners, hoping to light this building exterior, the other county buildings with green. We have grant dollars to support light bulbs and other exterior lighting for that. We have 1,200 light bulbs available in the office. These will go out to the different schools, so if students would like to take them home, put them on their exterior lighting at their homes to also signify their support for mental health awareness in their communities. May 7th is actually Children's Mental Health Awareness Day, so we're hoping everybody on May 7th can wear green that day in support of children's mental health awareness specifically. That's a national event we want the county to be involved with. We're very pleased to offer that the opportunity and make that announcement. And lastly, on May 21st in Shamokin will be an illumination station to offer giveaways and other in-person opportunities for folks to learn about mental health and mental health awareness. So May is a big month for mental health awareness, and we're looking forward to supporting that. I have a few of the flyers for you folks in the front. If you'd like, this is some of the information that we've produced. A flyer that will go to the schools. We're hoping this finds its way to the guidance department so that kids can be aware. And then these will be printed on cardstock, so kids will have that option to take them home, as well as some magnets. So I have these for you folks.
Yes, we want to thank you for your report, and if anyone, Francis, anyone have any questions? We like to do this each month, to have reports from our departments, because I don't know if the citizens know all the hard work that you guys do, and, we're trying to make it aware, so each month we try to have a department, they know you're there, but they don't know all you do, and we appreciate you coming in, and you have commissioner support 100%.
Thanks very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Chris. A lot of great stuff going on there. Keep it up. Keep up
Thank
the
you.
great work. Thank you.
Next, we have our public safety person, Rebecca, who was new here not too long ago, but has been doing a great job with her report.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Northumberland County Commissioners and the Department of Public Safety and Emergency Management, I want to extend our sincere gratitude to the individuals and organizations who stepped up during recent Code Blue activations. When temperatures dropped to dangerous levels, your compassion and commitment ensured that no one in our community had to face those conditions alone. Because of you, warming shelters were opened, essential supplies were distributed, and lives were protected. This year's Code Blue activation was successful by every meaningful measure. Together, we were able to provide safe, warm shelters to those in need, connect individuals with additional resources, and prevent what could have been life-threatening situations. That success belongs to all of you, those who opened your doors, those who donated, and those who gave their time to serve others. Stonington Volunteer Fire Department and Shikellamy High School opened warming shelters. They offered more than just heat, provided safety, dignity, and human connection. The American Red Cross donated cots for individuals to have a safe and comfortable place to rest. Wise Markets donated water, milk, and juice, which provided essential nourishment for those seeking refuge. Victoria Rosencrantz and Christine Rosencrantz collected and delivered food and essential supplies to the warming shelters, which directly contributed to the care and comfort of individuals in need. Central Susquehanna Opportunities donated food, essential supplies, and supportive services. This helped create a safe, supportive, and dignified environment for those in need. The generosity of our community ensured that we could respond quickly and effectively. Thank you for your dedication and selflessness. While we are proud of what we accomplished together, we also recognize that the need continues to grow. As we look ahead to next year, we are asking for your continued partnership and for new partners to join us. We need additional warming shelter locations throughout the county, more volunteers, and expanded support to ensure we can meet the needs of every individual who may require assistance. Emergency management is built on preparedness, but it is powered by people. The effort only works because of the strength of our community and the willingness of individuals and organizations who step up when it matters most. Because of you, lives were protected. Because of you, our community is stronger. And with your continued support, we can do even more in the future. On behalf of the County Commissioners and the Department of Public Safety and Emergency Management, thank you for your partnership, your generosity, and your unwavering commitment to helping others. Stonington Volunteer Fire Company and Shikellamy High School could not be present today. I have Mike Herbert from the Red Cross, if you can. Thank you very much. Guys Marcus, Jason Kaufman. Thank you very much. Victoria and Christine Rosenkrantz. Thank you very much. Sorry, both of your names.
Oh, sure. Can I just say one thing? It's just because it's what I got to do. Tom. But I just also want to share this with the Valley and the community because
Thank you. Megan Bear with Central Susquehanna Opportunity. Thank you.
Rebecca, first, thanks for spearheading this whole thing during the cold time we had during the winter, and all the organizations for helping. And I think you're right, maybe next year we can get more people involved, more involved. I know also when we missed Olivia with area aging, we also opened our centers up also. And but it just goes to show we have good people in this county. And I think the more people that know this happened are going to offer to help next time. I think we'll have a lot more. But I appreciate what you've done and everyone who's here who did put the time in to help. And we have some people who couldn't stay warm during that time who really appreciated it. So again, thanks. Thank you. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We had such a cold winter. And, personally myself, I would think about the people that did not have shelters and where they could get warm. And it really bothered me a lot. And having you all here today for what you did, it's very touching that you provided help to these people and in their time of need. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's great. Thank you.
A motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the Commissioners' public meeting minutes held on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026.
So moved.
On the question, all in favor state aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels payrolls as submitted by the Human Resource Office for payroll number 6 in the amount of $743,965.79 and payroll number 7 in the amount of $756,580.49.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels bills as submitted by the county controller in the amount of $8,237,386.85 from February 28th, 2026 to April 3rd, 2026.
So moved.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under announcements, a work session will be held on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, beginning at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Conference Room. The next regular public meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026 at 1 p.m. at the Administration Center located at 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury. The Prison Board meeting will be held on Wednesday, April 8th at 11 a.m. at the Administration Center located at 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury. Northumberland County Courthouse, Administration Center, and related county facilities were closed Friday, April 3rd, 2026 in observance of Good Friday. And under the Northumberland County-wide reassessment update, data collections moved to Shamokin Area School District. There will be a meeting held on Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 at the Shamokin Area High School in the auditorium from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. These meetings will provide an opportunity for residents to learn more about the reassessment, ask questions, and gain a deeper understanding of the process. A motion is needed for the chairperson to sign the state tax equalization voucher for transfers of real estate for the month of February 2026 as submitted by the County Assessment Office.
So moved.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the employee status sheets of new hires, individuals no longer employed, promotions, demotions, and transfers as item number 1 through 27.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Motion is needed to approve the following reports. These include the coal royalty reports as submitted by the county engineer, the tax claims bureau, and the monthly fiscal status reports for the month of February 2026 as submitted by the weatherization department.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
A motion is needed to grant permission to advertise the following. First is a request for bids for leasing of 2 tracts of farmland located in Northumberland County as submitted by the county engineer. The second is a meeting notice for the redevelopment authority, which has rescheduled remaining meetings for 2026 to the second Wednesday of each month with the exception of Tuesday, November 10th, 2026, due to Veterans Day holiday at 6:30 p.m. at the Northumberland County Administration Center located at 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury. And third is a meeting notice, the Blighted Property Reinvestment Board meetings for 2026 scheduled on the third Wednesday of each month at 6:30 p.m. at the Northumberland County Administration Center at 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the chairperson to execute the temporary easement for County Bridge Number 73, 8th Street North Bridge in Shamokin, project between CEDACOG Joint Rail Authority and Northumberland County at a cost of $500, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the chairperson to execute the timber sale agreement between Northumberland County and PG Logging LLC in Dalmatia to clear timber at the Northumberland County Jail at a cost of $500, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the chairperson to execute a quote provided by Skylock LLC from Woodward for roof seam repair and membrane restoration system on the upper roof at the Northumberland County Administration Center at a cost of $11,630, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to approve the revisions to the social media, to the policy manual for policy number IS-17.0, use of social media as provided by the Information Services Department.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing travel requests and attendance at the following workshops and seminars as in accordance with the county's personnel manual travel reimbursement policy. These include the Area Agency on Aging, the Commissioner's Office, which is a ratification, juvenile courts, the prison, which are ratifications, the Sheriff's Office, and the Treasurer's Office.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize chairperson to execute the proposal from Port Elevator for the repair of the elevator located at 330 North 2nd Street in Sunbury at a cost of $4,445, and that's a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the chairperson to execute the 2026 Court Interpreter Services Agreement grant application for 2025 language access reimbursable costs of $44,962.82 on behalf of the courts, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the chairperson to execute the sales order agreement with TOPP Business Solutions for copier maintenance and financing with First Citizens Bank for copier model MZ3200I at $86.86 per month for 60 months on behalf of the Prothonotary's office.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to approve the exoneration of the Northumberland County portion of 2018 through 2025 property taxes in the city of Shamokin, tax parcel number 017-01-009-243, which is located at 505 North 8th Street in Shamokin, as long as the city of Shamokin and Shamokin Area School District are also exonerating their portions of these taxes. This blighted property was purchased by Shamokin Area Economic Development Authority, also known as SEDA, with the intention of renovation.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to adopt volumes 1 and 2 of the Emergency Operations Plan as presented by the EMA Director.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to accept the resignations of the following individuals from the Children and Youth Advisory Board effective 3/1/2026. These include Brad Gray, Victoria Rosencrantz, and Jen Willard Miller.
So moved.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to appoint the following individuals to the Children and Youth Advisory Board for 10 months, beginning March 1st, 2026, and continuing through December 31st, 2026, or until a replacement is appointed, whichever shall come later. These include Madeline Savicius, Lori Cover, Sally Lupini, and Carrie Gessner.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to accept the resignations of the following individuals from the Safety, Security, Emergency Planning Committee due to availability constraints of their positions within the community effective immediately. These include Chief Jay Long of the Sunbury Fire Department and former Chief Bremagen of Sunbury Police Department.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to approve the following proclamations, certificates of appreciation, and certificates of recognition. They include the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, which is April 12th through the 18th of 2026. April is National Library Week, April 19th to the 25th, 2026. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and April 2026 as Second Chance Month.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, and we're going to read these proclamations now.
Do we have anyone that are here to?
Yeah, I think there are.
Those.
Are there any? Yeah, there are people here. So what do we have first, Nathan?
National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Whereas emergency telecommunicators of the Northumberland County Department of Public Safety serve as the critical first point of contact for citizens in times of emergency, providing a calm and steady voice in moments of fear, uncertainty, and crisis. And whereas these dedicated professionals answer 911 calls with compassion, professionalism, and efficiency, ensuring that law enforcement, fire, and emergency medical services are dispatched quickly and effectively throughout Northumberland County. And whereas telecommunicators work tirelessly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, demonstrating exceptional skill, focus, and resilience while handling high-pressure and often life-threatening situations. And whereas their responsibilities require not only technical expertise and rapid decision-making, but also empathy and the ability to provide life-saving instructions and reassurance to those in need. And whereas the contributions of these men and women are vital to the safety, security, and well-being of the residents and visitors of Northumberland County, yet their efforts often go unseen by the public they faithfully serve. Be it proclaimed that the County of Northumberland hereby recognizes the week of April 12th through the 18th, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and that all residents are encouraged to recognize and thank dedicated emergency telecommunicators for their unwavering commitment, professionalism, and service to our community, signed unanimously by the Board of Commissioners.
Do we want to do each one of these individually, or what do we take a picture or what?
And
So what we're going to do is we're going to read the four of these proclamations, and then we'll take a break and have Francis take some pictures of us presenting them to each person, okay? All right, you're welcome. Thank you, Francis.
Next is 2026 National Library Week, whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. Whereas libraries serve as vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. Whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Whereas the PA Forward Literacy is Power initiative highlights how libraries encourage literacy in basic information, civic and social, health and financial, which contributes to greater personal and community success. Whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations, connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, expand access to essential services, and strengthen the entirety of Northumberland County. And whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities that support career growth and economic success. Whereas libraries nurture young minds through story times, STEAM programs, literacy initiatives, and fostering curiosity and a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. Whereas getting a library card is a financially literate action. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme of Find Your Joy. Now therefore be it resolved that the Northumberland County Commissioners proclaim National Library Week, April 19th to the 25th, 2026. During this week, we encourage all residents to visit libraries, explore resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library helps the community find joy, signed unanimously by the Board of Commissioners. Next, we have Sexual Assault Awareness, whereas April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month and calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in Northumberland County, whereas every day women, men, and children across Pennsylvania suffer the pain and trauma of assault upon survivors and our 67 county communities, whereas this crime occurs far too frequently, goes unreported far too often, and leaves long-lasting physical and emotional scars. And whereas during National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we recommit ourselves to lifting the veil of secrecy and shame surrounding violence, expanding support for victims, and strengthening our response. Whereas sexual violence affects individuals of all ages, backgrounds, and circumstances, whereas as a community, we share the responsibility to protect each other from assault, supporting victims when it does occur, and bringing perpetrators to justice. Whereas at every level, we must seek to provide necessary resources to victims of every circumstance, including medical attention, mental health services, relocation, housing assistance, and advocacy during the criminal justice process. Whereas 67 county communities can come together to increase awareness about sexual violence, decrease its frequency, hold offenders accountable, support victims, and heal lives. Now therefore be it resolved that the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and now is the time to take action as leaders in our community to create safe environments for all 67 county citizens, including our youth and our educational institutions. We must work together to educate members of our community about sexual violence prevention, support survivors, and speak out against harmful attitudes and actions, and we join advocates and communities across the country in playing an active role to prevent sexual violence. We publicly proclaim April to be Sexual Assault Awareness Month and recognize that each day of the year is an opportunity to create the change for the future. Signed unanimously. And finally, we have Second Chance, and whereas the individuals who live, work, and contribute to Northumberland County are the foundation of our community's strength and vitality, and whereas thousands of individuals return to their communities each year after incarceration, seeking opportunities to rebuild their lives, support their families, and contribute positively to society, and whereas successful reentry into society is critical to reducing recidivism, enhancing public safety, and strengthening families and communities, and whereas individuals with criminal records often face significant barriers to employment, housing, education, and other essential services despite having paid debts to society, and providing meaningful second chances through fair hiring practices, access to education and workforce development, and supportive community services help individuals achieve self-sufficiency and reduces the likelihood of reoffending. And whereas employers, community organizations, faith-based groups, and government agencies throughout Northumberland County play a vital role in supporting returning citizens and promoting successful reintegration, and whereas Second Chance Month is a nationwide effort to raise awareness about the importance of reentry and to encourage policies and practices that remove unnecessary barriers for individuals seeking a fresh start. Therefore, be it proclaimed that the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners hereby recognizes April 2026 as Second Chance Month in Northumberland County, and be it further proclaimed that all residents are encouraged to support efforts that promote successful reentry, reduce recidivism, and provide meaningful opportunities for individuals to become productive, contributing members of our community once again. Signed unanimously by the board.
Okay, so if we could take a break, and first, if we could have the public safety 911 people up and get a picture. You know, while they're coming up, just want to say, I remember the days back when there was no 911, when we were in high school, and you pulled a lever on a pole if there was a fire, and you had an ambulance number above your wall phone in your kitchen that you called in case you needed an ambulance. And where have we come to this point that right now, we can basically call from anywhere to our 911 center, and they can have them there in a lick of time, so we're very fortunate to have that now. Yes, you can get up. Holy mackerel. Yes, sir. Francis has to use his own phone. Ask the newspaper to buy you a camera. Holy mackerel.
Only for you.
You want me to call for you?
Yeah, only for you, I think. When you read a story, then you can call.
Don't bring that up, Francis. Okay, National Library. Is anyone here from the library? Yes? Guys, I remember the library when me and Joe were in school back in the 60s. You actually went to the library to do all your homework and look up encyclopedias. And gosh, Joe used to go when he looked up Consumer Report whenever he bought anything to see if it was any good. I mean, the days that I spent in the library, because we couldn't afford an encyclopedia back in the 60s.
I like the library.
Oh,
When I was in college, that's where I spent most of my time, in the library.
That's why you're the educated one.
That's yours. Oh, 911 guys, you want Brandon? Sexual assault awareness, I don't think we have to say anything about that. We know how important that is. Is Amy here? I don't think we heard the click on your camera. Okay, and for reentry, that's one of the things I think would come up often in our prison board meetings, and we know how important that is also. Francis. Let's get the real camera up.
I don't know about that. Talk to me when I'm at Larry DeQuincy level, and then we can.
Francis, we really appreciate everything you do. You know that.
Listen, is there anybody in the crowd who can get a picture?
Any more? All right. Are we ready where we're at, Nathan? Okay, we can continue. Wait, are we okay? Can go. Go ahead, Nathan.
A motion is needed to revise the FFY 2024 CDBG contract number 0000930002 on behalf of Ralph Township by moving $29,310.41 from their housing rehabilitation to their RAB Township Gym Phase 2 project.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to modify the FFY 2024 CDBG contract number 0000930002 on behalf of Delaware Township by moving $79,884 from the East District Road Area Reconstruction Phase 2 into the newly approved East District Road Area Reconstruction Phase 3 project.
So moved.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to modify Northumberland County's FFY 2025 CDBG contract, abandoning the Lower Mahanoy Pumping Station upgrade and moving the $46,300 to the previously approved Marion Heights Stormwater Improvement Project.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to accept the resignation of, Vince, do you want to read this one?
Motion is needed to accept the resignation of Nathan Savage, Chief Clerk, as the county representative for America 250 and appoint Craig Specht as the county representative of the America 250 effective April 7th, 2026.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Solicitors report, Mr. Rovito.
We need a motion to adopt Resolution R11-26. It's a resolution supporting the submission of the DCNR grant application by City Council of Governments for the 4-county Greenway Plan.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We need to adopt Resolution R12-26, agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports between Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of Human, Senior, and Social Services and the named service providers listed below 1 through 38.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
This time, is there any old business? Hearing and seeing none, any new business? And final opportunity for public input.
I just have one thing to say. It seems like I've been here a long time. It's only 11 years, but I just have to say that the public meetings in the beginning, 10 years ago, and before I was here, I used to come. I have to say, I enjoy coming to the public meetings and seeing the people that we have that do so much for the county, and that we focus on the good things, I think. I know everything's not hunky-dory, I get that. But I'm just sitting here thinking, I remember we'd have to wait to see who's coming in to see if anybody had to be taken out of the room and things like that. And I've been here 11 years, and I'm just sitting and thinking how enjoyable it is to have people who help when we need help, and people that are helping our residents, and commissioners who are working together and I think trying to do the right things. I just have to say that. Maybe I'm getting old and, you say things like that, but I just want to thank everybody. Okay? What? Megan?
Yeah, actually, if we could get one last photograph of the folks who received letters today, and thank you for everything. If we can get a photo after the end, and also if from Area Agency on Aging, if you guys could come up as well as part of the all the Code Blue effort this past winter. Thank you so much.
And I would like to say, while everybody else is getting their input in, I would like to say thank you for everybody that is here today and the things that you did, and hopefully you will continue to help the county and the residents of this county. Thank you. Yeah, have a great day.
Okay. Another great meeting, and Steve's still on a streak here of no incidents yet since he moved here, so we really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Meeting's adjourned.